Hare Krishna, everybody. 325, 35. Pashyanti te me ruchirani ambasantaha. Prasanna vakrarunalochanani. Rupani divyani varapradani. Shakam vacham prihaniya vadanti. Pashyanti te me ruchirani ambasantaha. Prasanna vakrarunalochanani. Rupani divyani varapradani. Shakam vacham prihaniya vadanti.
Pashyanti te me uchiranyam vasanta. Pashyanti te me uchiranyam vasanta. Prasanna vakarunalochanani. Prasanna vakarunalochanani. Rupani divyani varapradani. Sakam vacham prihanyam vadanti. Pashyanti te me uchiranyam vasanta. Prasanna vakarunalochanani. Rupani divyani varapradani. Sakam vacham prihanyam vadanti. Pashyanti te me uchiranyam vasanta. Prasanna vakarunalochanani. Rupani divyani varapradani. Sakam vacham prihanyam vadanti.
Pashyanti, see, they, me, my, Ruchirani, beautiful, Amba, oh mother, Santaha, devotees, Prasanna, smiling, Vakra, face, Aruna, like the morning sun. Lochanani, eyes. Rupani, forms. Divyani, transcendental. Varapradani, benevolent. Sakam, with me. Vacham, word. Niyam, favorable. Vadanti, they speak. My mother, my devotees, always see the smiling face of my form, which eyes like the rising morning sun. They like to see my various transcendental form, which are all benevolent. They also talk favorably with me. Hare Krishna Suprema.
Hare Krishna. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Mayavadis and atheists accept the forms of the deities in the temple of the Lord as idols, but devotees do not worship idols. They directly worship the personality of Godhead in His Archa incarnation. Archa refers to the form which we can worship in our present condition. Actually, in our present state, it is not possible to see God in His spiritual form because our material eyes and senses cannot conceive of a spiritual form. We cannot even see the spiritual form of the individual soul. When a man dies, we cannot see how the spiritual form leaves the body. That is the defect of our material senses. In order to be seen by our material senses, the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepts a favorable form, which is called Archa Vigraha. This Archa Vigraha sometimes called the Archa incarnation is not different from him. Just as the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepts various incarnations, he takes on forms made out of matter, clay, wood, metal, and jewels. There are many Shastric injunctions which give instructions for carving forms of the Lord. These forms are all material. If God is all pervading, then he is also in the material elements. There is no doubt about it. But the atheists think otherwise. Although they preach that everything is God, when they go to the temple and they see the form of the Lord, they deny that he is God. According to their own theory, everything is God. Then why is the deity not God? Actually, they have no conception of God. The devotee's vision, however, is different. Their vision is smeared with love of God. As soon as they see the Lord in his
different forms.
In his different forms, the devotees become saturated with love, for they do not find any difference between the Lord and his form in the temple, as do the atheists. The smiling face of the deity in the temple is beheld by the devotees as transcendental and spiritual, and the decoration of the body of the Lord is very much appreciated by the devotees. It is the duty of the spiritual master to teach how to decorate the deity in the temple, how to cleanse the temple, and how to worship the deity. There are different procedures and rules and regulations which are followed in the temples of Vishnu, and devotees go there and see the deity, the Vigraha, and spiritually enjoy the form because all the deities are benevolent. The devotees express their minds before the deity, and in many instances, the deity also gives answers. But one must be very elevated devotee in order to be able to speak with the Supreme Lord. Sometimes the Lord informs the devotee through dreams. These exchanges of feelings between the deity and the devotee are not understandable by atheists, but actually the devotee enjoys them. Kapila Muni is explaining how the devotees see the decorated body and face of the deity and how they speak with him in devotional service. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Jnanatinarandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurumilidhyena tasmai shri gurave namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Nam Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisheshaya Shukavadi Prashadi Veshatani Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Pashyanti te me ruchirani ambasantaha Prasanna Bhakta Gunarojanani Rupani Divyani Varapradani Sakam Vacha Prihaniye Vadanti. Oh, my mother, my devotees, always see the smiling face of my form, which eyes like the rising morning sun. They like to see my various transcendental forms, which are all benevolent, and they also talk favorably with me. Transcendental forms. Not easy. Many a times we see in India, people say that Bhagwan ke naam mein bahut shakti hai. They do agree the Lord's name is very powerful, but we do not see them chanting because they have not experienced the transcendental name of the Lord. Understand? If you experience the transcendental name of the Lord, you will chant whole day. You cannot take yourself off. Take an example. You're walking on the road, and there comes some actress, very beautiful, and then they put a lot of decorations of themselves. You will not be able to take your eyes away from that because you're attracted. And you feel happiness to see the beautiful form. But what you are not understanding is you're seeing a material form made of stool and will. The Lord's form are transcendental. And once somebody has experienced the transcendental form of the Lord, then he will know what is being taught. So just like people do not chant the name of the Lord, they do not chant the name of the Lord because they do not know the name of the Lord is transcendental. They also do not appreciate the transcendental form of the Lord. They take darshan. Or it was good alankara, but they not able to be able to hold our eyes on the transcendental form of the Lord. It's not easy. You have to be on the transcendental plane. That's why we take darshan for hours, 1 or 2 seconds, and then go. Actually, it is ideal. At least those of Pujari, they sit it from the Lord. We have 3 Pujaris for the day. They should, the time what they have, just sit in front. See the Lord is well attended. Actually, just like we have, at least we will implement in the new temple, and only those people will give the Pujari service. They should have attachment to the deities. It's not that I have some other work. There is no other work. That's your service. We take an example, just like when you travel, going somewhere, particularly elderly people. Somebody should be there with them, attending to them. Sure? Suppose, take an example, the Prime Minister of the country comes here. Don't you think there is somebody attending to him all the time? Was that you leave him without any care? He wants something, there is nobody. No, somebody should attend. In the temple, what happens? Continuously visitors are coming. So that is there all the time. They want to offer something to the Lord, is there. Yes, not that altar is open, nobody is there. They don't even feel like visiting the temple. When you visit a temple, the Pujari should be there. He may not be doing arti that time, but he's sitting, he's reading there, he's chanting. He is in front of the Lord, he's there attending the Lord. Something may be needed. Sometimes what happens, the crown falls. Something may be there. Sometimes insect come and sit on the face. Somebody should be attending. But for that, we should know that the form of the Lord is transcendental. That is only knowledge. We should feel it is transcendental. Then you will not leave the tendency to the Lord. There. You got it? Feel. There are various pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita which illustrate the transcendent nature of the deity. Deity is called Arch Avatar. It's an incarnation of the Lord. It is not a form of wood or stone. It's an Arch Avatar. It's like the holy name. For a common man, it's a vibration. It's not a vibration, it's transcendental vibration. Holy name. Similarly, the deity is also transcendental. Archa Avatar, then Nam Avatar, this is Archa Avatar. So there is one pastime where one Brahmana comes with an elderly person. You know, Puri Yatra, we had a drama on that. And then what happens? The elderly Brahmana in front of the deity promises something. He says, please be careful, we are promising in front of the deity. Yeah, I'm telling you very clearly, I want my daughter to marry you. It's fine. Then he came back, and then after some time went to the Brahmana, what's your plan? You remember he promised something in front of the deity. He was not thinking it's a stone. The Lord, in front of the Lord he promised. He said, what to do? And he was in a great difficulty because his family was not allowing him to complete his promise. And then what happened after that? You know, so they said, okay, the atheistic son of that elderly Brahmana said, where is the witness? What is the witness? Well, what, Lord? So can you bring him here? Yeah, I'll bring him here. And he went and the Lord walked behind him. And he went to God, talked to the deities to come and said, my dear Lord, can you please come? And seeing his faith and love, the deity started speaking. He said, no, I don't walk. You talk, no. Deities don't talk also. Because you talk, you can walk also. Prabhupada says, the deity became transcendently defeated by the devotee. Logic. Okay. If I talk, now I'm trapped, I'll walk also. So he said, okay, go. But give me this much kilo of rice every day. I'm very hungry. Okay? And walk in the front, don't look behind. So every day he went and kept walking, and the deity will walk, with a beautiful, ankle bells behind him. And then the deity reached the space, the village. And then the whole village came, they were struck with wonder. The deity is still there. Sakshi Gopal. Correct? We had darshan. A very pleasant darshan of the deity and very unpleasant darshan of those joker pandas there. They make the holy place unholy by their presence. Anyway, so we visited, you all seen that. There is another place, we have the pastime. This is of Madhavendra. Deva Prabhupada says in the purport here, the Madhavendra went to Vrindavan and the deity appeared in his dream. He said, I am lying here in the forest. So he goes to the and the deity explains to him how to reach there. There, when our temple was attacked by Mohammedans, the pujaris to save the deity, they hid the deity here. And Madhavendra goes with the whole village and they see the beautiful form of the Lord. And then what happens? They take the form of the Lord on top of the Govardhan and install the deity. And that's a deity presently. That deity is where? The deity is in Rajasthan. What is the name of the place? Nath Dwar. Again, it is still worshipped, the deity. So, what do we understand? We do understand something very special. So the deities are transcendental. If the deities worship was not transcendental and certified by the Shastra, as it is mentioned in Bhagavatam, it is mentioned more places in Bhagavatam. And great acharyas have given so much rules and regulations for deity worship. Why did they do that? Why did they acharyas establish such huge, beautiful temples? The deity worship is some idol worship. It is not idol worship. Explain to you that once, some proper saying in the purport, they say God is everywhere, so why is not in the deity? If he is everywhere, the deity includes that. And what your pleasure you feel. I told you that example long time ago. One lady came to the temple and he said, I don't need to come inside, God is everywhere. Everywhere means inside also. Everywhere includes the temple also. Everywhere includes the temple. Came inside. And then he said, I don't understand the deity worship, this idol worship. Okay, you don't understand. Then what are you doing? Now I have a small child. What do you do with the child? Now I feed him, I bathe him. What else do we do with the deity? We do the same thing. We feed him and we bathe him, we dress him. Same thing you're doing with the child. And the child is also made of some chemicals only, correct? It's also made of chemicals, just for understanding. Yeah. But I feel very happy in taking care of my child. Do you know how much happy we feel taking care of the deity? So no argument actually. So deity, very important thing is to understand, do not ever think a Lord as Paramatma is sitting there. Don't think like that. It's a Lord himself. It is not like in the material body, Atma is there. So in the Vigraha, the Lord is sitting in Paramatma there, covered by the material form. No, deity's form is spiritual, not material. But I see I know, no, it's made of marble. To think that also is hellish. Arche Vishnu Shiladi Narakamati. We should never think like that. No, this is a Panchaloha deity, this is a marble deity. Do not think like that. That is before installation, not after installation. We install, we request the Lord, please accept the form. Now it's a transcendental form of the Lord. You understand? Just like it is said that we should not go very near a great Acharya because we may become familiar and make aparadha. We should also not go very near to the deities also. You see from a distance better. So then we start seeing, the nail is painted like that, maybe a little paint more rational. You're seeing in a very material way. The Lord standing there. Seeing the deity is also not easy. It has to be seen transcendentally. There are some temples like Pandapur and all, they allow everybody to touch the lotus feet of the Lord. They allow Jagannath Puri to hug the deity and all that. Correct? So if you see in a material way, what you will see? There are some deities that are very, very old, like Udupi Krishna, very old, 800-year-old past time. Some deities are even much, much older. They may not have just like we have with the deities. You are gone to deity darshan to entertain yourself over. I saw very nice. That's not the way. See, when you go in a service attitude, you feel so much affection and love to the deities. It's like a mother when she sees a child. Now, when you look at any child, you see this child is actually very handsome. This child is not very handsome. We see this. Every mother finds her child very pretty. The Prabhupada says, when an example, Padma Lochana, a mother had a child which was blind, and she was calling the child Padma Lochana. You understand? Similarly, the devotee's heart is imbued with love of the Lord. He is not seeing in the material dimensions at all. And he knows at this stage he is not ready to see the beautiful form of the Lord in the heart. And therefore, he knows it's Krishna's very kindness to appear in the material form. Okay? So therefore, we should not put our judgment. This deity is more beautiful, this deity is less beautiful. We should know how to see the deities first. It is seen with love. Then these kind of discrimination do not come. We appreciate this one. Those who are mothers know that. Every mother finds the child very beautiful. But actually, in a normal sense, it may not be. Correct? So similarly, the deities are seen with love. So there is way to see the deities also. That's very, very important. So deity worship as such involves a lot of aparadhas, which you should be careful. In chanting the holy name, there are 10 kind of aparadhas. In deity worship, there are 64 kind of aparadhas. Wow. And if you analyze all the 10 offenses in the holy name, that can easily be understood if you understand what? The holy name is the Lord Himself. Chant attentively. And don't hurt the devotees because it hurts a lot. The devotees are very dear to the Lord. Don't think the name of the Lord is equal to any other mundane vibration. Don't think the name of the Lord is equal to any Devata name. Don't think it is some kind of a material phenomena. Don't think the glories of chanting the holy names are imaginary. These are all, don't do sinful act and strength of the chanting. Easily understandable if you think it's a person. Similarly, all the offensive deities are also understood if you understand deity is a person. Don't shout in front of the deity. Don't show your back to the deity. Other side, don't leave the deities unattended. Somebody should do that. Okay. And Srila Prabhupada as an Acharya was at any moment left him uncared when they recognize who is a pure devotee? Never. Even when the Prabhupada will go for a morning walk, somebody will be there personally assisting him, recording everything. He gives every instruction he gives was recorded. Yes, what you like to say? Everything was recorded. Mr. Vivekananda recorded. They don't have to send your name. Record everything. Audio is there. Correct? Recording. So, Srila Prabhupada, as an Acharya, was at was at any moment left him uncared when they recognize who is a pure devotee? Never. Even when the Prabhupada will go for a morning walk, somebody will be there personally assisting him, recording everything he gives was recorded. Yes, what you like to say? Everything was recorded. And every moment, whatever Prabhupada says was required. That's why we have so many books, we have letters, so many conversations, lectures. Why? They know to attend to my child. Similarly, deities should always be attended, taken good care. When they do the installation ceremony, that time the devotees come and Lord, these are sevas we will do for you. They come in, they will do the seva, they will do the seva. And they keep elaborate sevas. And the deities are served with great detail. And we keep enhancing our service to the deities, we never reduce. We increase more and more. Somebody says that I like somebody recently they went to Srirangam, no? They saw deity was woken by elephant, cow, horse. We can also do that, but you have to do it every day then. You cannot just one day do, now it's not good. No, that's not like that. It gradually enhance. And in big temples, as more and more the deities are served with great love, they take a center stage. And the whole focus becomes that, just like you look at the temple behind me, the whole focus is that Radha Govinda will be served. We accept that, we think about everything else. Except that, we think about everything else. But actually we forget, no, that's the center, no? Temple is for them, a permanent place where they can stay. Temple is for them, the prasadam can be distributed to public. Temple is for them, so that the people come and they can hear about them, their glories, their urukrama. The devotees can relish hearing the transcendent glories of the Lord. Temple is for them, the devotees who come to visit them, they can stay. Isn't it? Temple is for them, so that people can read the various literatures which are written in their glorification in all languages. Temple is for them because different big festivals can be held and lakhs of people can visit. And how simple and straightforward this is, but do we even think about that? We don't think about that. So living at the temple means living at the lotus feet of the Lord, Prabhupada says. One time Srila Prabhupada visited one temple. And then when he visited the temple, he asked the Pujari, where is the Pujari? Yeah. Are the deities happy? He said, he was totally shocked. What to reply? Yes, no, he doesn't know. But he basically driving home the point to him, that's what's your duty. You should see to it the Lord is happy. Not that he must be happy. Now, do you deal with that? I told that example so many times. Suppose you have a guest. You deal with a guest like that. Suppose one day a guest stayed with you. Don't you go next day? How are you? Was your visit comfortable? Don't you ask them? No, I am not comfortable. No, you must be comfortable. We think we are so great devotee. The Lord must be happy at me. What is all this nonsense? If you are actually Krishna consciousness, you will be taking part in every day from Prabhupada deity and other Govinda. I know I'm doing so many activities. You're not able to offer. Prabhupada said this very nicely, how to offer to the deity. My Lord, I don't know how to cook. And I'm giving you an offering and I have no love to offer you. And after that, Srila Prabhupada starts crying many things. But still, please accept it, my Lord. That's the way. Deal with the deities. Not that I'm very spacious and I'm wonderful. That all hallucinations are there inside your mind. But the fact is, I'm wretched. I'm rubbish. I'm horrible. But still, on the order of the Acharya, I've come to offer you something. If you kindly accept the service, I will be so grateful to you. That is the way. In this world, we have come rebelling against the Lord, and all of us think we have something special about it. There is nothing special about us. There's one devotee telling Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I am most fallen. Prabhupada said, you are most of nothing. One lecture, Prabhupada explaining, you are nothing actually. You are nothing actually. You are nothing. That's a fact. One of the principles of surrender which we show in front of the deities, what is that? always meek and humble in front of the Lord. That's a practice. Now, Bhagavad Vidhi and Pancharatara Vidhi both are very important in spiritual life. Prabhu noticed some of his devotees were in academics, but they were not attending the temple aartis, they were not actually engaged in the deity worship. Prabhu said, what is all this? Our line, as given by the Goswamis, the 6 disciples of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who took charge of Lord Chaitanya's movement after his departure, Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam in a Bhutale, because that is Rupa Goswami's prayer, establishing Lord Chaitanya mission in this world. He equally emphasized on the deity worship and the Bhagavad Gita both. Among the two, definitely Bhagavad Gita is more important, but deity worship should not be neglected. Like in a train or in a car, there are wheels on both the sides. Similarly, both things should go together. Prabhupada used to say temple construction and book distribution both should go together. Not that we only do temple construction, that's also not good. Not only do book distribution, that's also not good. We should have both. Among the two, the more important is preaching, book distribution. But both should go on. Both help each other. Deity worship helps us establish rules. And then Bhagavad Gita is theoretical, Pancharatara Vidhi is practical. Now you may see Lord is very great and all, when the deity is there, you go down. Practical. You offer some food to the Lord. Practical. You do kirtan in front of the Lord. Practical. True, it may not be possible at home, and we don't recommend also to install the deity, but the picture is possible. And keep the picture and sit in front of the chant in front of the Lord. Deity means, Vigrahas mean there are a lot of rules and regulations. But some people say that in some religions, the deity worship is not recommended. Don't do idol worship. That is there in Bhagavatam also. Mumukshamo ghora rupa. The ferocious forms of the nature and some of the devatas have to be neglected. Devotee worship the sweet smiling face of the Lord. Now, there are some forms of the Devi Devatas in India also. Some skulls are hanging. Devotee doesn't do it. It's not for Sattvic people. Correct? Moksha Bhora Rupa. Then in Bhagavatam, look, first canto, locate this word. The devotee gives up all this worship in Bhora Rupa. He worships the beautiful smiling face of the Lord. So deity worship is recommended in the scripture. First thing, be fixed on this. Deities are not separate from the Lord, and there are a lot of rules and regulations given for deity worship. And the person involved in the deity worship is, should be really what happens. The best of if the temples their only focus remains fundraising, if only focus remains impressing so-called VIPs in this world. There was one person giving an example to me, of a rich man. He said, I was visiting some temple and the people were waiting outside for me. And the Lord had not had his breakfast. I was supposed to visit, say, 8 o'clock. I became late. I was at 10 o'clock. They're all waiting outside for me and they forgot to give breakfast to the Lord. What kind of foolishness is this? Isn't it foolish? The Lord is important or the so-called VIP is important? Another example taken, a person, the Prabhupada on the deity worship. There are many temples that people maintain themselves by showing the deity. Please give some dakshina. You have seen that. Enough tamasha is there in India. That's why generally we should not criticize the pujaris, therefore I told you. It's also sometimes upsetting to see when on the name of the Lord they make money. Correct? See the deity, give some dakshina. See the Lord gives some dakshina. And they close the curtain also. And if you give darshan, they have money, they will open the darshan. Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada compared this kind of living by the deity, giving darshan of the deity, to a very difficult situation. He gave the joke about once somebody visited. He used to make very nice stories. Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada, you can locate on the net, very nice stories explaining the principles of Krishna consciousness. He says once what happened, somebody saw the deity. And then what he did, next day when he came for darshan of the deity, he saw that the altar is closed. Like we have in this arrangement here. This is a temporary arrangement. In the temple there is a nice altar, the Lord's place. We spend a lot of money. It's the most beautiful place should be the altar of the Lord. Many temples spend crores. They use all the peak wood and the best wood possible. They use it, the place. In ISKCON, you put even AC there. It's very dark, pleasing. The best of the scents are used. So the nice smell, aroma is there. Incense is offered to the Lord, isn't it? Very nice smelling flowers are offered to the Lord. The whole thing is kept, and bhoga offering goes on the whole day. So what happens is that he saw the altar door is closed. So he was waiting outside. And then he heard the sound, cut, 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 cut. He was wondering what sound is going inside. So what did it finally? He found a keyhole, something he could peek inside. He was peeping, and what the person was doing, he had shaligram in his hand. With that, he was breaking coconut. And Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada said, somebody filling his belly by giving darshan of the Lord is nowhere less than that, using shaligram to break coconut. What is all this? We're there to serve the deities, not that use the deities to fill our belly. That should not be the principle. That is, the temples are not made for that. Temples are made for the transcendental pleasure of the Lord. Therefore, you see this word transcendental. Prabhupada said there are two things in existence: material world and transcendental world. Now, we are not able to see the soul itself. दिख रहा है क्या किसी को? मान तो अपने आप को सभी सोचते हैं हम लोग. दिख रहा है क्या सोल? नहीं दिख रहा. Can you see the Paramatma? We cannot see. When somebody dies, we know the soul and Paramatma leave. You have seen so many people dying. Did you see the soul Paramatma leaving? We cannot see. Our eyes do not allow us to see. This is our situation. We are conditioned. But the deities also, even though they know our reality, where the deities are actually transcendent. How? Prabhupada says this is inconceivable. When you love, you serve the deities, the Lord accepts that form, and then there is no difference between that form and the Lord Himself. The finger of the Lord is Lord's finger. And therefore, the deities sometimes have pastimes also. Sometimes we have something to reveal. We can sit in front of the deity, either the deity or even the picture at the same, and reveal your heart. Allow one problem. You know something. I don't know what to do now. Reveal your heart. And that is what we go for darshan for that purpose. Not that one exercise we do on Dandavat and we get out, no. We should reveal our heart, what I'm supposed to do. Guide me, and the Lord will start speaking. Either sometimes in a dream, or through some devotee will guide you. Just like we develop relationship. What are the ways we develop relationship with any individual? What is said in the Bhagavad Gita? Tadadi pratigrahanati. The same thing you do with the Lord. He's waiting for that. He's hungry for your love. We offer something to the Lord to eat. How do you strike relation with somebody? You give something to eat. So what you are doing at that time, you are expressing your love. You do have some love. That's why you have come to temple anyway. So we express our love. Something I made for you. You offer something to the deity. Deity says, oh, very nice. And he's pleased. And then you offer some gift to the Lord. The Lord is like, the way we see the very beautiful example is that when Sakshi Gopal deity, one king came with his wife, and the wife had a beautiful pearl. And she wanted to she wanted to know whether the deity knows there is a hole or not. She wanted to know. And then a dream it came. The deity came, yes, I have a hole, give me that pearl. That's how the deities offer it. Okay? So it's very transcendental. But then the Lord, we should be in a transcendental platform, the Lord will reveal. Actually, deities can walk, deities can dance, but the point is that we cannot handle. We will behave like Indra, disturbing the whole pastime. The Lord is holding himself. Like a child, he takes service from the devotees. It is not that the deity needs service. It should be very clear. Not that he needs, but he hands himself over. Just like Krishna when he was born in Vrindavan, he handed over himself as the plaything in the hands of the deity, out of Vrindavan. That's what is happening now. The residents of Vrindavan had Krishna as a deity. They were feeding him, they were bathing him, they were making him dance, they were singing for him. Whenever Krishna will kill a demon, what they will do? The Mother Risha will place him on the lap, and all of the ladies will sing his glories. You kill Putana, you kill Trinavata. He's hearing in this time. And he's also dancing in the center. Correct? Sometimes. In fact, Sri Chaitanya Leela, a very interesting pastime is there once. The God Nitai come to a place. And then what happens is that he requests, the devotee requests God Nitai, please stay at my place. Because our deities are there, no? At his home, he was worshipping God as that deity. They're there, no? We are there. No, I want you to stay. So, okay, they became the deity started walking. Huh? He was shocked. Then he kept a big stick in front of the altar. The deity should not come out correctly. Even now the stick is there. So the point is that it's not when you do nice Sankirtana. In fact, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda is watching. They feel very pleased. Whenever the beautiful Sankirtana happens, Yagnai Sankirtana Prayajanti Sumedha Saha. How do you worship Lord Chaitanya? By Nama Sankirtana. Is very, very pleased. Prabhu says, as far as Gaunita is concerned, they are happy just by Nama Sankirtana. So therefore the rules of Gaunita worship are the simplest. So those who want to have deities have Gaunita deities. They are the Kalyuga deities. They're the best for the householders. They do not take any aparada. Some mistake happened by you, you're late. You should not be late, but you're late for an offering that happens in the household. The deities don't take, Gaunita doesn't take any offense. If you can just do Nama Sankirtana morning and evening, they're satisfied with that. That's what they want, that's all. So actually, if suppose somebody wants to have the deities have Gaunita or Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, they both of them don't take any offenses. They don't take any offenses, and whatever you can offer, they're very happy. But Radha Krishna, you should be careful. Because then the rules, a lot of rules and regulations are involved. And in ISKCON, the rule is minimum 6 pujaris should be there if you want to have Radha Krishna worship. Right? In the new temple, we need 6 brahmanas. Otherwise, ISKCON is not permitted. We have to have a temple of Radha Krishna. It's not permitted. Because the rules are like that. So many pujaris should be there. And what they are doing, attending to the Lord. Not that when puja is over, nobody is there, all are in the ashram sleeping. No. Pujari is there for 6 seconds. At least they should be there, sitting and being attentive, cooking for them, dressing them. Whole day they are busy. So the deity worship is actually transcendental. It is not material. Krishna consciousness is also transcendental. But the Lord knows at this situation we cannot see something transcendental. So Lord comes at the scriptures, which is transcendental. What is the scripture? Looks like a paper and ink only, but it's transcendental. And we see the deities, what is that? Piece of metal? No, it's transcendental. The holy name is transcendental. Shastra is transcendental. Acharya is transcendental. But we have no eyes to see that presently. So as we advance in Krishna consciousness, more and more we can feel the transcendent nature of the Lord. And we advance. We gave the example many times. Copper wire looks just like copper wire. When the current is there, it's different. So similarly, these are all looks like material. They're not material. They're actually spiritual forms. Otherwise, why would Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu faint to see the deity of Jagannath? Faint. Because there is love. So, and the deities are not different from the Lord. No Acharya has ever deprecated the deity. Deity worship is always respected. We go to Srirangam, we are Ramanujacharya with great respect, used to worship the deity of Ranganatha. We see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with great respect, that's the deity of Lord Jagannatha. The Goswamis and Vrindavan each built a temple. Why did they build a temple if the deity worship is not important? Not only that, they located the deities which are lost. Govindji deity, Madan Mohan deity, Gopinath deity, Radharaman deities were all installed by them in beautiful temples of them. In fact, Radharaman, another pastime is there, which also deities are so wonderful. What is the pastime? That the Gopal Bhatta Goswami had a Shaligram with him, and all were making beautiful temples. Radha Govinda temple was built by Rupa Goswami, and they were making their dresses and stitching them and decorating them. Similarly, Madan Mohan deity temple by Sanatan Goswami, Radha Damodar temple. All these temples, elaborate worship was going on, and beautiful dresses and all being offered. You know? And here was Gopal Goswami, he had only a shaligram. So how am I going to dress this? He was feeling, I wish my Lord also I could have beautiful form, I could also dress. These are not in metal platforms, these are all actually manjaris of the spiritual world. So that I can worship them. Then what happened? What happened? Something very interesting happened. And when he woke up next day, the deity, he opened his place where he kept the shaligram. One of the shaligrams had taken the total form, which is the Radha Raman of Vrindavan. Even to this day, the pujaris we go show at the backside is still the part of the shaligram. You know? And the deity manifests called Swayambhu. The Lord just nobody made the deity self-manifest. Also, there are so many beautiful pastimes of the Lord. I just forgot one thing. Today is so I'm late also, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada Disappearance Day. I request you can see ISKCON devotee made a nice video, Ray of Vishnu. It's a drama made by devotees in Bombay. Have a time with that. In the evening class, I will talk about his pastimes. Somebody meditate. So if possible today, do a breakfast, means fast. And we eat in the lunch if it is possible. If you already eaten, it's a separate thing. Okay? And pray to Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. He is our spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada and very, very dear to Lord Krishna. Prabhupada used to say he's a Vaikuntha man. What do I say? So now there is no time. In the evening I'll talk about this. Meditate on different. Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Your name.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, what is the name of video? Way
of Vishnu.
Your Vishnu. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, what time the evening class starts?
7:30.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
And is it the same link, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
Same link.
Hare Krishna. And the continuation of the class or some other?
No, that is Gita going on. But today I'll speak on one verse of Gita. Generally, I take that class in Hindi because a lot of people say in Hindi, I never hear. Only in English. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Fast rakna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Surprise fast, no? Hare. Okay, chalo. Hare Krishna.
No, very fast.
You can take some.